Hi there everyone, this is Lilith and welcome back to another YouTube Live here on the Halftone channel. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in and I'm going to pull myself up on my screen so I can see who is there and I can look at all of your comments. So do pop in and wave hello. So let's have a look. So I hope you are all well today. And I can't find myself on my screen, which is a big problem. Let's just try and do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this a bit differently. So there's a bit of a oh yeah, I can see myself now. Yay! So hi there everyone. Hi Lynn. Thank you for popping in, and I can see myself, which is great. And I can pull myself up on the screen then, and I can see all the comments. So hi there, Sue. Yes, we are all well. We are settling in to our new routine. So I don't know if all of you know, but my son was diagnosed about a month ago with diabetes type 1. So June was a bit of a blur, and I think July is going to be okay. We're going to be at home and we'll be able to monitor him and everything is good. He had his last football practice, like his soccer practice today, and he went swimming at his trainer's house. And so I think he had a good time. So all is well here. I hope all is well where you are and that you're ready for a bit of crafting today. So do excuse me, I'm a bit rushed that I had just a meeting in before and I was a bit afraid I wouldn't be here on time, but I am. Hi, Christine. So welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be using one of the stamp sets which is on sale, and thank you. The Halftone badge is there reminding you to share. If you do share this, and on YouTube there are many ways to share, we will pick a lucky winner at the end of the show. Hi there, Nancy. Oh, sunny San Francisco. It's been gloomy today, but the sun is out. I think tomorrow is going to be a goodish day. We've had lots of rain, which is good for the plants. Always see the positive, I say. Hi, yeah, hi Halftone badge. I will tell you who is behind the Halftone badge today. It is, I think it is, we are the July, the, let me have a look. It's Urim, I think. There we go. So I'm going to put myself back onto the screen. Hi there, Roberta. So today I'm going to be using with this stamp set and dice set. It's the Halftone Stars. Yep, it's Urim. It's usually her or Lydia. So the Halftone Stars set, which you can see here, and I've got the coordinating dies in the back. Now, the Halftone series is one of my favorites. We've got Halftone Hearts, Halftone Circles, Halftone Hearts, Halftone Squares. I don't ever know, but I love Halftone, the Halftone series. Oh, we've got Gradients, and I love this one. So Halftone Stars, it's a really versatile set because you can use this in so many ways. I mean, stars, you can do like Christmas with it, you can do birthdays with it, you can do graduation with the stars. I mean, you can make scrapbook layouts just to say someone is your star. You can just send a card to someone, say you are my star. So it's just a fabulous set to use, okay? And it comes in a bundle, and there's a great sale on this one if you don't have it. If you do, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to use it. There we go. I paused my screen. I don't know why. So there we go. Yep, great for male themes. I mean, we always associate Halftone with lots of florals, and this is a great way to add something different to that. Thank you for sharing, Teresa. Okay, so in the set you get these different kind of stars, and they're called Halftone stars because when you stamp them you get like a different shade not because you're using different colors, but because the spacing between the dots gets like more dense or less dense, and that way you get the impression that you've got this kind of color change. And I will show you that once I start stamping, and I will show you different ways to use it as well than just stamping. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stars. Some of them are full, just to add this kind of full image. And then we've got some wonderful sentiments. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sentiments. And once again, those of you who know me, I am a sucker for kind of combining fonts. So I do love the kind of more scripted font with a more typed font. And we do get that on here. You've got more scripted fonts, more typed fonts. So that's something I really, really love. I love this kind of different typed fonts on my projects. So we're going to start stamping. There we go. Yeah, you might hear my husband in the background. He just came home. So there we go. So I'm going to pop you down. I do not have the double cameras set up, so you're going to, yep, they have lovely sentiments on them. I didn't read them out to you, but maybe I could. So we've got like make a wish upon a star. So if you're writing a card to someone and you want to kind of pick them up, it's great. Shine like the stars. When I look at the stars, I think of you. Ooh, that's very romantic. I love you more than all the stars. Even a small star shines in the darkness. Believe in yourself. You are a star. Happy birthday. A very fun happy birthday on there as well. Ooh, that's a bit of a reflection there. You are my lucky star, and follow your own star. And I love these sentiments. I've used these a lot on scrapbook layouts, and I've just noticed my hair is really a messy bun. Sorry about that. So I'm going to pop you down. It's going to be like a swivel, and here's my ceiling, and maybe you'll see part of the setup above my craft table, and then I'll pop you down onto the craft mat, and I'll show you the other products I'm going to be using. So let's go for the swivel, and I'm hoping in the near future to get another setup. So here you can see the top part, okay. And now I'm going to kind of swivel you around, and I might have to move this forward. And now if I do this, what will happen? Yeah. Whoops. So it's a bit of a, okay, fasten that. Maybe just move this up a bit. Okay. I hope I'm okay like that, that I'm approximately straight. Thank you for sharing, Christine. And we will not pick you, okay? There we go. So this is the set. I've got some colored cardstock here just because I was using it to film some products earlier on, and I thought it'd be nice just to use it. Oh, I might just straighten the screen just a teeny bit. How am I going to do that? Maybe if I just straighten my, oh, that's a lot better. See on my screen. Okay. There we go. So these are the cardstocks I'm using. I'm so sorry. These are just old cardstocks I had in my stash. So I don't know where I got them from, but they looked very similar to some of the colors in this lovely die set or ink set. So I've got Heartbeat, Vineyard Berry, Grapevine, and then the pink Pearl. So I thought they would work nice with these old cardstocks I had in my stash. So there we go. We're going to be using those today. I've got my stamp set out. I've also got the dies in the back. I will be using my mini blossom for this as well. I have also got my cutting board, which is just above me, so that if I need to trim some paper, I can. I'll just have to pull it down. There we go. Just getting everything ready behind me. I've also pulled out some clear embossing powder and some platinum embossing powder, and because I've got embossing powder, I'm also going to take my little Altenew embossing ink, And as I'm working with embossing powder, I'm also going to get some scrap paper. There we go. So this is some scrap paper. That's just to collect all the embossing powder once I've worked with it. And I will also need my stamping blocks from Halftone, which I've got here. So let's just start working on our first technique, which is very simple. So I'm going to work on the dark cardstock, which you can see here. And I'm just going to cut this down to card size. That way, sorry. I'm just going to take my cutting board and just cut that down to card size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. There we go. And maybe I can just cut another one as well, just to show you 2 different techniques on this. Now this cardstock is textured on one side and smoothie on the other. Smoother. Oh, I'm having a hard time pronouncing things today. So I'm going to be using the smoother side first, and I'm going to be using lots of different stars on this one. And I think I might also just get out my Misty tool, which I might not get out because, oh, it's over there. Sorry. It is out already. It's on the other side of the table, and the magnets have stuck to my table as well. So I'm just going to get my Misty tool out so that I can stamp these cards double. So it's just going to speed up the process a little bit. There we go. And my magnets are stuck together. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my stars onto that to create a really fun background. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stamp maybe my sentiment so that I can place the stars around the sentiment. So which one do you want me to use? I'm going to use one of these larger ones with the more scripted font. So I've got Make a Wish, You Are My Lucky Star, and Shine Like the Stars, or Happy Birthday. I think I might just be using Happy Birthday because you can never have too many birthday cards. So I'm probably going to place the Happy Birthday here, and then I'll pop all the stars around the edges. There we go. Okay, so let's ink this up. Yeah, birthday. No, not with this. No, not with this Lilith. I'm being silly. I'm going to use some black ink. Silly me. And I'm going to just use permanent black instead of my obsidian. So let's just ink this up. So I'm using permanent black ink from Halftone, which is this one. I think that'll go press. Yay, pretty. I'm just going to give this a good wipe clean. Okay, I always use a microfiber cloth. I just think it takes off most of the ink, and I don't have to use the cleaner all the time. So now I'm going to start working on my stars, and I'm going to do something very simple. I'm just going to use the clear embossing ink, which you've got here, and some clear embossing powder. Okay, and then we'll create the same card, but we'll use platinum just to change the colors a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to pop my card like so, because I want to kind of maybe put, okay, double the magnet in the middle. Let's just do that. So am I going to go with a large star? Yeah, I'm going to go with a large star. So I'm going to put the large star here. And I love it when elements like pop over the sides of a card. If you try and stick everything inside, it looks a bit funny to me. I don't know if you have that same kind of impression. I do anyway. So I'm going to pop another one here. So I'm going to move this up just a teeny tiny bit. And I am going to try and get magnets loose again. Oh God, these are really strong magnets. I did put washi tape on them, but there we go. Like so. Got a tiny one here. A largest one over there. Got small ones over here too. I'm not going to take too small. Maybe this one here. Okay, that looks good. Ooh, yes. Over the edges is the way to go. Okay, so now I'm just going to close this. Oh, there's something. Okay, that is like so me. I forgot the. I'll have to do this all over again. Silly me, silly me, silly me, silly me. I don't know if this was the setup or not. No, it was something like this. Okay. Let's just put this piece of plastic to one side. Yep, that's going to be a bit easier. So, I am just going to quickly go over. Where did I put my eraser? Here it is. I'm just going to quickly just rub gently over the surface with an eraser, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And I'm just going to ink my stars up with the embossing ink. Now I have just added new ink to this, so if your embossing pad has dried up, you can always use the re-inker, okay, and just re-ink your pad. So mine's nice and juicy. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you, Barbara. It happens so many times. I kind of get my stamps nice and lined up, and then I've got this kind of acrylic sheet still on my MISTI tool, and then I pop it down, and then everything's on the acrylic sheet instead of on my little stamping window. So I think I've got these stamps nicely inked up, and now I'm going to stamp them. This is pretty dark cardstock, so you will see the stamped image on there. And another thing I forgot to do, because I always forget it, because I'm not really a card maker. Well, I do make cards, but I'm more of a scrapbooker, is that I forgot to use my anti-static powder. So, sorry. There we go. And that went really well. So you can see how that looks on there. And do you know what I might just do? I might just take my little acrylic block here and just add another star, because this side is just a tad empty, and just add a bit of embossing ink on there as well. There we go. Okay, perfect. Let's pop that back on there. So I've got my embossing ink on there, and you can see just with the embossing ink, that's really pretty, but it's going to dry and then disappear, and that's not what we want. So we're going to add some of our clear embossing powder. There we go. So let's start. There we go. I think I've got embossing powder everywhere. So now I'm just going to pop this up. Okay, and I just like tap it very gently. Okay, there is some embossing powder on the edges where I kind of pop my fingers. So I'm just going to take a little brush and just brush those little edges off that I don't want on there. Here around the birthday. I should have used my anti-static powder, but hey, there we go. So I've got my embossing powder on there. I'm just going to fill up my little, okay, I'm going to put this to one side. And now all I have to do is heat set it, so it's going to be a bit noisy. Okay, come on, heat gun. I hang my heat gun on the top of my desk. Let's go. So there you have it. Look, oh, sorry about that. The screen is adjusting. Hi there. Hi Heidi. No, you haven't missed too much. We're working with the halftone stars, not the half-stone, the halftone stars stamp and die set. So here I've just used the stamp set. I've stamped them with embossing ink and I've added some clear embossing powder, and you get this wonderful look on it. And it's so simple. I mean, it's just clear embossing powder and embossing ink. Now, if you noticed, I was heat setting it from the back. Especially with this more detailed kind of images, I have the, I think if you pop the heat on top, I have the impression like the powder just like flies all over the place. So I like to set it from the back, or start like heating from the back, and then when it starts to melt, you can go over to the front. But I have the best results when I start heating from the back. So there you have it. I think that's very pretty and so simple. And so just by using clear, it just darkens the color, the shade already on your cardstock. I wanted to show you the same thing but made with some colored embossing powder. So we're going to stamp that again. Let's just see. Yep, that should work. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add my embossing ink to the stars. And this time we're not going to use the clear, but we're going to use platinum. But you could use copper. Ooh, copper would be nice. I might just change the platinum for copper. So I'm just going to have a look in my box. Copper. I'm going to use copper instead. There we go. So I'm just going to ink these up really nicely. So if your pad is drying out, I would advise you just to get a re-inker, because I do get better results with a nice juicy. Oh, anti-static. Yep. Thank you for reminding me. Who reminded me? Yay. Okay. CC. Yep. Okay. Don't put my fingers on it now. Okay. There we go. Oh, Heidi, are you too? You're always forgetting the anti-static powder. And it's silly because it's just in front of me. So I don't have like special anti-static powder because I live in Belgium, and sometimes some of these like more specific kind of stamping supplies are a bit harder to get. So I just popped arrowroot powder in a little old Winnie the Pooh handkerchief that my kids used to have when they were small, because now they're big and I'm all sad because they're growing up too fast. That's how I remember them, by putting a Winnie the Pooh handkerchief on my desk. I'm just going to pop that star over there. There we go. Okay, give that a good press. There we go. And I'm going to add another star there at the top as well. There we go. So pretty. Once again, just going to ink up this extra little star and pop it there in the top. Very easy. Okay. Okay, my magnets are together again. There we go. So I'm going to pop this back on, and this time I'm going to use the copper. I do hope the copper will look nice. Oh, Teresa, me too. I've got like pictures of them in the little end. Oh, I remember, I think I've got one here when they were little. Look, that was 10 years ago. I'll ask them to reenact that picture. Oh, I love seeing them grow, but it makes me sad. Like my youngest, he'll do his last year of primary school next year, and then he's going to go to high school. I'm going, no. Or secondary school, like they call it here. I'm so sad. Oh, Heidi. Oh, God. I remember when my twins were born, and now they're like 16 going on 17. Ah. So funny when you have your kids, they say, oh, you'll see, time flies, and go, yeah, sure, and you've got sleepless nights and you can't wait for them to be big sometimes. And now I'm just wishing they were small again. Or just sometimes. I love them being big. They can clean their own rooms and they help me in the garden. He's 36. But don't you stop counting at one point, Heidi? I mean, so I've got a lot less of that embossing powder sticking like to the centerpieces, because I did use the anti-static powder. So thank you, Cece, for reminding me. Once again, I'm going to heat set it. So there you can see how the copper looks on that, and it looks beautiful. It's even better in real life. Yes, it is magical, isn't it, with embossing? Oh, I always love watching it melt. It looks amazing. And I love the copper look on this. And just look how different that is. This one is nice and shiny, and this one is more matte. But I do love the look of those two together. And so once again, now that I've got... I will stamp the sentiment now afterwards, and we'll just see what will fit in there. You are my lucky star. Let's just stamp that inside. I'll just use my stamping block. Oh, sorry for this one. Once again. And I might just use the exceptionally crisp obsidian ink, just to, because it is exceptionally crisp. go. Give it a good press. You are my lucky star. Look at that. So happy birthday, and you are my lucky star. So same technique, but just different embossing powders, and you get this wonderful look. And I might probably just pop this, maybe if I want a bit of drama, on some black cardstock, just to have a small black edge around it, and just to make it stand out a little bit. So very easy, simple, nothing complicated with those two. So let's go on to the next way of using these. And once again, I might just cut these down. So this one is like a more kind of salmony color. And so this was this one. And this one is like more of a terracotta color, I would say. There we go. I'm just going to cut these to size once again. Okay, I'm just going to put... So let's start with this one. Salmony pink. So pretty. There we go. Okay. I might just cut a second one. And this is textured cardstock, so usually what I do... Why did I cut such a small piece? Silly me. I can't... There we go. And now let's go for the terracotta. Okay, I think one will be enough. There we go. Oh, the doorbell. I hope someone comes down to open it because I'm busy. So I'm going to start with this kind of salmony color. And as you can see, it's a bit darker on one side. So I'm going to start with the smooth side. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm just going to pop my heat gun over there. And I can already pop these to one side. Is I'm going to use some of these lovely colors. So I've got Pink Pearl, which I'm going to start with. And then I might just use Vineyard Berry on my darker card. And then on this lighter one, I'm going to do a combination of different colors, just to see how that looks. So let's do this. So once again, I think I'm just going to use my Misty tool, just because everything is set up. There we go. Let's just see if this will work. Oh yeah, it's not like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something like tone on tone, and I hope the Pink Pearl is going to be dark enough. Yes, it would be nice if you would just cut them out. I will be cutting out a couple of stars afterwards, and we could just like emboss them as well and pop them on top if you wanted to. So I'm going to start inking up my stars here. And I might add a little color around the edges, so I'll just see how I do that. Go. So now I'm just going to give that a good press. I hope I've got enough color on them. Give it a good press. Oh, yep, that's nice. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I might just take a darker shade. I might just go in with Vineyard Berry, and I'm going to take a little finger dauber. Just take a finger dauber. Okay. And I'm just going to ink this up. So I'm going to pop some ink onto my finger dauber like so. I'm just going to kind of dab this onto the edges like so. So you can really, oops. Oh, I hope now that this didn't move. Okay, seems okay. I'm just going to add that a bit to the edges, like so, just to give that kind of a darker shade. Maybe just to the larger ones, like so. It's been a while since I've used these little things. There we go. Or I might just do the smaller ones as well. There we go. Just around the edges. There we go. Okay. Oh, I mean, I love the mini ink cubes because they are great for so many things. But if you're doing like large stamping, it's like easier to use these. So what I'm going to do now, because it is a bit harsh, the finish, so I'm just going to kind of dab this onto some scrap paper just to get all the dark off. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my pink pearl and just going to do that to the center once again, just to get that, because I just want to soften that center again. There we go. I just want to soften those center pieces. There we go. Yep, that's better. There we go. Let's close this one. And I didn't put a star up there, so maybe I should. There we go. Just do the same. I know it's so hard to choose when there are so many pretty things. There we go. And once again, I might just get my finger dauber, add a bit of vineyard berry around the edges here. There we go. Dab that off. And just get a bit of that. I might just blend it like this with the clean one. There we go. Okay, so there we have another way of using the set. You could just do tone on tone or just add a bit of color around the edges like so. And once again, let's just add another sentiment. I'm going to use Shine Like Star, and I think I'll just use I might just go with the vineyard berry or just maybe grape, well, vineyard berry. Let's just stick with those colors now. Just gonna ink this up, just keeping it really tone on tone. There we go. Oh, I've lost the stamp. Okay, it didn't fly far. And if you wanted to now, just to create a bit more contrast, just quick, because I saw the flying star. Okay, it's this little one here. There's a really tiny star on this one. Oh, this one won't stick anymore. It's a really teeny tiny star. I don't know if you can see it. It's really tiny. I might just use this to add a couple of really darker stars on there with my vineyard berry. So just to add, like, instead of using enamel dots, which you could use, I think I'm just going to add a couple of these little stars. There we go. Yep, sequins. I don't have any sequins that would go with this. I should like invest in some more colored sequins. But you get the idea, and you've got so many possibilities. And if you want, you can, if you don't like the stars, you can go for the halftone hearts, the halftone circles. But it's a really fun set to use. So let's go on to our next card. So there we go. Where did I put the other base? Oh, it's over here. So I thought it'd be nice just to make a couple of stars on this background and then kind of cut them out and pop them onto our lighter background. There we go. Because we do have the dies, and I did want to show you the dies I'm going to for today. So I'm just going to give this a quick clean. So I think I'm going to cut out, I'm probably going to stamp one large one onto there, and then I'm going to use maybe these two smaller ones, which I'm going to stamp on here. And I want to show you another option with this one later on. I want to try something. It's something I had an idea, and I don't know if it will work. I would like to test it, so I'm going to keep that one over there. So let's just start by inking these up. So I really like the look of the Vineyard Berry on this darker cardstock, so I'm going to go with Vineyard Berry. There we go. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these out like so. So that's already straight. Well, just cutting them out so I can put them in my mini blossom afterwards. And on this one, I'm just going to stamp this one, but once again, I'm going to go a bit lighter this time. I'm going to probably just use the, no, I wanted to use some embossing ink on this one. Sorry, my mind is starting to linger. So my embossing ink, which is over here. So I'm just going to ink this one up. And there we go. And once again, I'm just going to add some clear embossing powder to this. There we go. So clear. So this is just to test an idea I have. What set is the Vineyard Berry? I don't remember. Ooh, this one didn't stamp all too well. I'm gonna have to do that again. Oops, just pop this away. Luckily I have, do I have more? I have more. So I'm just going to stamp that one again. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my anti-static tool. Just close that a minute. There we go. Okay. Whoops. It's the Tea Party. That's the one. Oh, that's better. There we go. I'm just going to pop my embossing powder back in there. There we go. Close it, because otherwise I'll just tip it over. So there you go, that one is done. And I thought it'd be nice just to see what it would look like if I would add color to it. But I'm debating on which color I'm going to use. I'm just going to test it onto the side. That's velvet. This one is grapevine. Oh, it's dry. Oh, that's too dark. There we go. I'm gonna have to re-ink my grapevine. This one's too purple. That's because I'm gonna use velvet. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to I want to darken the inside. I'm just gonna go over it like so. And then I'll cut it out afterwards. So I don't worry about going over the edges. Just going to kind of color that in. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry just a bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out with my mini blossom tool. So this one I'm just going to kind of, there we go, so I can get it into, oh, sorry, that's my teacup. So let's get this out. So this one, this star is for this stamp over here. And I've already got some masking tape ready to cut it. There we go. And I'm also going to cut out the other two. Okay. There we go. All ready for cutting. So I'm just going to take out my two plates. So if you don't know, Altenew has this lovely little mini die cut tool, which is called the Mini Blossom. And it's got a plate A, and the name is on it, and plate B, and you make a sandwich and you run it through. It's always good to have a list ready, Heidi. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go around the sides so that all the color is all the same here. So I'm just going to go around the sides because I want the same color all over the place. There we go. And let's cut out the lovely stamp stars. So plate A, and then you pop on B. There we go. Just to make sure this is nice and dry. It's pretty cool because it kind of colors the embossed area and makes them like darker, and the centerpieces as well. It's pretty awesome. There we go. Okay, so we've got our little stars there. so I've got my clean cardstock here, and I'm just going to stamp one large image over, probably over here, like so. I think I'll just use my stamping block for this one. And once again, I'm just going to use my Vineyard Berry. Okay, or I might just use maybe pink. Oh, let's go for Vineyard Berry. Like so. Give it a good ink. And then just, I'm going to pop it like so. Give it a good press. Okay, now this is, I'm using the textured side, so it could be a bit spotty. So you can see the kind of the stripes that are in the texture of the cardstock, but that's okay. So, and here I've got my little stars, like so, with the different colored paper. So I'm just going to pop them on some foam dots, if I can find them. I think they're under my tablet. There we go. I didn't cut them out too well, the stars. I should have lined them up a bit better. Okay, I'm just going to do this really quickly. There we go. I'm probably just going to go like this. I'm not happy with how I placed my first. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I think I wanted to place it a bit differently. I'm just going to work with these. Let's just work with these. Told you I'm not good with cards. Let's just go like so. Let's pop it like this. Okay. I'm just going to go with the other side because I don't like how I stamped the first image there. And because there's a smudge on this side, I'm just going to cover it up like so. Okay. It's not too bad. And then I can just pop a sentiment over there. That's me messing up the last card. So typical. Okay, I might just use Shine Like the Stars again. And this time I'm going to go with black again just to contrast it. There we go. Nice black one. Yeah, maybe it does, Christine. The different colors, they do add more depth. Okay. And probably what I'm going to do now, because it's just something I like to do, just see, I'm going to add a border. I love doodling borders onto my layouts and my cards. I'm just going to doodle a border, and I like doing double or triple borders just to give that a total doodled look. Especially with very, very simple cards, I always like to frame the elements inside. There we go. And if I were very brave, I'd probably draw a couple of stars in the center, or like, but I've forgotten how to draw stars. There's probably some way of drawing stars. Wow. I might just leave it like this. I do want to add a couple of black stars there. There we go. So I think I've got everything on there. What I might do is I might stamp some black stars. Would I dare to stamp some black stars? Let's just dare. go. And I need to add a third. Let's just go for it. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm happy. There we go. I'm done. It is a tiny cute little star, isn't it? So I think I've got everything covered, everything that I wanted to try. So I'm just going to pop maybe all the stamps back onto the set. And I'm missing a stamp. Where did it go? Maybe, oh, it's still in my Misty tool. I did use red ink and already used red ink on this one before. That is why you see this kind of red tint to it. It doesn't make your stamp less usable. So don't be afraid when that happens. So I'm just going to pop it like so. So this is the stamp set we used. Okay. And this is the last card I made. So I stamped the stars, or two of those stars, with some Vineyard Berry, then cut them out with the coordinating dies. I stamped a larger star with some embossing ink and some clear embossing powder, and then I went over it with velvet, this artist marker velvet, just to give it a different kind of look, and it looks really neat. You get kind of that shimmer from the velvet, and the cardstock kind of reacts with a different color, and it looks solid on the screen, but it does have a nice feel to it and a nice color. Then I stamped this card, okay, where I used the combination of different stamps, and I stamped pink pearl in the middle and then added some of the darker shade along the edges. I should have blended that in a little bit better. Next time, if I do something like this, I will probably blend in some of that pink pearl just to blend it out a bit more. But it does have a really cool look like this. And then I stamped, like you can see, it's kind of the same image, but this time I stamped it with embossing ink, added clear embossing powder, and then embossed it. So you get this kind of darker shade on it. And here I used copper, but you could use any kind of technique or any kind of embossing powder with that. So what I'm going to do now is you're going to see my lovely ceiling again, and then I'm going to pop you around. Hi guys, it's me again. Oh, now I have to turn you a bit like so. Yeah. There we go. I'm all done for today. That was a lot of embossing and stamping today. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube live starring the halftone stars. There we go. Thank you, Sue. There we go. Just added that today. And these are the cards, just I wanted to show you them once again, that I created. There we go. And there you have it. Can't wait to see you soon. And next week, I don't think I will be on any of the live sessions. I do have to check, but I do have a class. So one of the creativity classes up. So if you're interested in that, you can always have a look on the Alter New page as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Huge thank you for sharing. A big shout out to Urim, who has been popping in all the links. I have tried to keep up with all your comments, but thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Xiomara, Sue, Stacy, Lynn, Christine, Teresa, Heidi. Thank you all so much for being with me today, and I will see you very soon. Bye.